Okay, welcome everyone. So let's just get started. It's going to be a very exciting training session because this is the key and the core of the Kinghui system for duplication. So welcome to Learn, Show, and Teach, how to get really started fast. So as always, we have our fantastic, dynamic, very approachable, friendly, and fun uh, speaker today, Daffy. And
Right, right,
yeah, let's get started, Daffy.
right. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting one. Friendly, fun, approachable. All right, that's new. All these new words in my dictionary. So yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, like I said, Adelina is right. Congratulations to everyone who's kind of made strides forward. Now, this session today is really, I think there are a few things that happen when we begin to do this business. And I think the confusion around this business is very common. Yeah, there's a lot of common aspects that I see that are usually a very confusing first step. And I think it's the hardest part is when someone just kind of got into the business and they are trying to bring their business partners into the business. So in this, so I try to do a little bit differently from perhaps how corporate or the general training patterns go. General training patterns, they give all the details around the how-tos and the techniques and stuff. And I think there's a lot of those videos already. You would find Samson having done a new distributor orientation, all the things that people need to do. You do Amy Dunlap. She's also done empowerment. There's also I think it was Holly DeMott, and she talked exactly about how to fill in forms, keep track of your work, manage it, manage the progress of conversation with your prospects, She did a really, really good job with that, right? So there's a lot of forms out there. There's a lot of basic form filling stuff, right? Things that you can use as your contact list and to track those methodologies. There's also, very clearly how to say what to say in terms of, the scripts provided by, Amy. And, I think Samson's done a great job as well in terms of trying to approach the concept of mindset. So, I try not to repeat what everybody's doing. I think that is an important thing. Yeah. So you're not going to find me parroting the stuff that mostly has already been out there. So if you have a team, or if you have a team's team, or your people have a team, you need to adopt the attitude that they need to be self-sufficient. So there's no way they can just come for one of these empowerment trainings and it's like school like that. So everybody can go to standard one, and standard one schools teach the same thing across all classes, all the whole country. No, it doesn't work that way, right? So you want to adopt the attitude that they need to be self-sufficient. This is not primary one. This is university. You got to go do your own research in the library, right? So they give some topics at a lecture, but they have to do their own homework, right? So I think that as a leader, one of the things I think that's really hard is getting your team on board with that idea and getting your team's team on board with that idea. But this is important. They need to stretch and do a little bit of work. Now, so what I'm going to try and cover is what I think, is the most hardest things for a sponsor to do. After a while of signing people, you're going to find that signing people is not really that difficult, right? And then you come to this stage that says, shucks, how do you get them to do some work? That's tricky, yeah? That's hard. How do you get people to go from signing up to wanting to do some work? And, I've said it often before, how you do that begins with the day that you began the first conversation with them, okay? And when we know how to begin that conversation, I think the rest of it is a lot easier. So the approach to this piece can be a small idea or a big idea. I tend to go for big ideas. So let me just run through a few things that I think sponsors should know and you should teach. Now, there's two things to teach, right? There's two major things that you can teach. You can teach how-tos, which are very basic stuff. You guys can have the slides. I think there's slides floating around. Check with Adelina. Samson has got that content. You can teach those general how-tos. You can do that in 10, 15 minutes, right? So when you have a business partner on board, you've got the Wow workbook to help you out, right? And then you've got the whole Edify invite thing. And then you've got everything's already there. You can do all of that in 15 minutes. I think that is the first step of teaching. Now, the harder part comes with the mindset pieces, okay? How do you get them over concerns, fears, courage, some basic skills, right? So I want to cover those intersection pieces that I think sponsors don't cover, yeah? Or it's harder to cover. Now, let's talk about, I think, first and foremost, everybody needs to have in their head what this business is about. And I've put some words here on the left. Life. Yeah, I mean, everybody likes to think of this business as just selling some products. And if you go down that direction, just yesterday I was speaking to someone and I said, if you go down that direction, then good luck to you, because you're walking into a lion's den of questions, and that's not going to end very well, right? You can almost see what kind of questions are going to come up. Now, on the right here, I'd like to tell you a bit of a story, and we have said this many, many times before. Like, the history or the background of knowing who Kim Hui and Samson is. I don't know if Adelina still recognizes this picture, right? So yeah, it's those of you who read Mandarin, actually tell you honestly, I don't know what's written on that whole banner thing, right? But this was a picture taken in 2014. This was the first ever gratitude tour that Kim Hui put 2 bus loads of people, and then we went up to Taiwan. And, one of the things I learned from this picture, the most important thing I think I learned from this picture, if you can look slightly to the right side of the picture, you would find a couple of recognizable faces on the right side. Okay, I don't know. And then on the left, kind of standing up, you would see 2 other recognizable faces, right? I mean, you guys should recognize Samson, I suppose. And there's Kim Hui slightly to the right of Samson, right? And then on the right side, you might recognize Adelina, and then, a couple of other faces, right? Which is probably me. But what is the most important thing I learned from this picture? I think I don't look good in purple. That's the one big thing I learned from this picture, okay? So, but this was a picture in 2014. And 2 busloads of people went up for gratitude tour. So when people ask me, what is the 3 business about? With the same kind of leadership, with the same kind of perspectives, with the same kind of principles, Kim and Samson, for me, it's really about life, lifestyle, community, right? And I put some words here, right? The vision, perhaps the vision of what the world is a better place to be, perhaps. It is perhaps for some people, freedom, right? So when you know what this business is for you, of course, there's the immediate tangible items. It could be the money, it could be, savings, it could be cash flow, right? Whatever that is. But you want to speak about this business or understand this business from a bigger perspective. What is it really about for you, right? So when you go out there and you begin to talk about what you are doing, for example, if we talked about Mark Zuckerberg, talk to somebody like Mark Zuckerberg, or even if you talk to this new guy, right, this NVIDIA boss, the guy who's just made billions over the last few weeks, NVIDIA guy, or you go talk to Elon Musk, they don't sit there and tell you about the engine of their propeller or rocket system. They tell you about what the world is designed to be, right? What they're designing, and what they are creating is just a part of what the world is in their head. So when you go out and talk about the business, you need to talk about what your world is in your head with 3. What is this whole thing is like? What's the big thing, right? What is this business about to you? So, if you take it to be a little bit more than just product, then I think people will be like, oh, that's interesting, right? What does Elon Musk do? He's just saying, the world is going to be lousy, just go to Mars, right? It's kind of what he's saying. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't sit down and talk about Facebook. He talks about connecting people all over the world. That it all started there, right? So when we understand the bigger message of what your business is to you, I think you want to begin the conversation there. So teach your people. Now, this is not a conversation that begins on day 1 and ends on day 1. It's a developing conversation, right? So when you first meet a person, they'll be like, oh, this business, I want to make some money. That's great. And agree with them, that's great. And then over time, if you're a good sponsor and you spend time educating and teaching and showing them the multiple facets of the business, you need to show them. You need to show them pictures. You need to show them conversations. You need to show them to people, introduce them to people. You need to tell stories, right? From wherever that you are. You need to have all these as your tools. Then their understanding of their life begins to change. And when their understanding of life begins to change, then they begin also to take actions in 3 that are different. So this part is, I would say, a consistent education, but these sponsors should do. Yeah, I would love to think people do it more often. Okay. So what is this business about? I never talk about product, never, ever, ever, because it's just so small in the whole piece. I talk about, where I want to be in my business, right? I've been a business person for a long time. And when you get into the specifics, the business is quite different. But when you look at the overall picture of what I'm trying to achieve in life, it's the same thing, right? Just trying to do better in life. That's really kind of where you're going broadly, right? Now, the second thing that I think people need to teach their your newly sponsored team, and it's got to be a consistent conversation. What do you really do in this business, right? So to some people, they're like, oh, what are we doing in this business? We're selling product. Okay, a lot of times people start there, right? Or people might say, oh, we're doing MLM or whatever it is that appears in their head. But you've got to change the conversation. You've got to change the conversation in your mind. So to me, what I do, what we do, I mean, we're all just connecting like-minded friends together. No, look, there's some of your friends who's going to love the gym. There's some of your friends who's going to love cycling. Some of them are going to love cooking. Some of them are just going to love eating. And then the eating people, when they get together, oh my gosh, they talk about all the restaurants on the planet. There's some people like that, right? And then the gym people, and then the moms, right? So these are common topics, friends. And you would realize that you might be joining 2 to 3 to 4 different conversations, right? Different groups, right? For different reasons, right? Some is for trekking. Different group goes for hiking. A different group goes for fishing, for example, right? So in this business of 3, it is a collection of like-minded friends as well, right? And what are they like-minded about? For me, I don't call it about making money or products. I call it like-minded about the latest technology in health, curiosity, right? Or like-minded in the terms of a different way to do a business or earn an income. So I'm looking for like-minded people who want to see different ways to earn an income, or like-minded people who are wanting to find out about leverage income. So to me, these are all different aspects of like-mindedness, right? So when you get to the bones of it, you will find that, like-mindedness is, you can express it in so many ways. What like-minded? What? For me, leverage income, technology in health, global income, right? Social e-commerce is a fascinating topic for me. And then you could also say like-minded as in, hey, people who just want to join a global project with some other friends, some successful friends, for example, right? Or it's just, a global community, right? Of ordinary people who can somehow have a slightly extraordinary lifestyle, right? So these are connecting. So you need to find in your friends who of them are like-minded, whichever one appeals to you, or several might appeal to you. For me, I use it in slightly different contexts, but generally these are things that excite me. If people started to, it doesn't matter what they talk about, but the minute they come to me and say, hey, technology about, e-commerce, I'll be like, yeah, tell me more, because I love e-commerce, right? So you've got to know, how to pick interest in that sense, right? And then you get like-minded about leverage income. When people start talking leverage income, my ears are perked, right? Some people know what they're talking about. Some people don't know. Okay, that's the reality. But the point is, when they say it, I'm listening. So you're looking for people who are like-minded with you in some of these things. Now, you could add on to the list, definitely, yeah? But I think this is a start of topics that you can find people who are like-minded with you about topics. You could also talk about leadership, right? There's another item I didn't add. You can just talk about global leadership. Influencers, global influencers. Or I was like, oh my gosh, this is a topic in 3 by itself, right? For example, you have global influencers who are seriously making money versus the ones who are just, reffing on, some platform and not really making a lot of money, right? How do they really make money? That could be a fascinating topic for some, right? So what we do in this business, you're finding people who have some common interest with you on some of these topics, okay? And that is, I think, really, really, the key, right? Because a lot of times, when we begin this journey, we take the easy direction, or we take the easy conversation. We actually just say, oh, we're looking for friends who also want some products lah. When you do that, that is right at the bottom of the conversation. Yes, there's a lot of people who just say, I love supplements and health. But then the struggle to get their interest is extremely tough. So when you begin with a different, better conversation, then getting them interested is a lot, I think, a lot more. You get their ears easier, right? So I hope these 2 slides make sense, right? Because when you go out there and you talk as a leader, as a sponsor, you've got a team, what do you talk about? I think these 2 things are very, very key, right? So then comes the question of how to talk about the business, right? So so just now is what is this business about? And then what we do in this business. And then the question I always get, so how to talk, people say how to talk, right? So I would always say, don't talk about product, talk about technology, right? Because if your theme, you're a person so excited about technology, just talk about technology. Say, oh my God, did you know that we're one of the 20-odd companies that's in PDR, for example, right? What is PDR? Let's talk about what it is, right? Let people, understand, right? You could talk about epigenetics, for example, bioavailability or absorption. Or you can talk about user stories. Don't talk about user stories. Wow, that person took Vitality and then that suddenly can grow wings and fly to the moon. Don't talk about the product name, right? Just say, hey, you know what? They took, she went from cannot wake up every morning very, very tired to, hey, now she can go to work on a regular basis and feels good. I mean, talk about how it impacts their life, right? And talk about quality of life. So these are some of the things, right? So don't talk about product, talk about the technology, I think is, so how to talk about how to do the business, I would say don't go in on the product, right? Number 2, don't aim to medicate. It's like, don't say, oh, this product is good for you. You don't know whether it's good for you, right? And I would always say this because, I've seen so many situations where when people have just, 1 or 2 of the products, they get results like, just great results, right? And, just because their health has improved. So don't aim to medicate, aim for wellness, right? You want people to just be generally looking at wellness as a topic. Don't aim to medicate a joint, medicate a bone, medicate high blood pressure. Don't aim to medicate, okay? I know sometimes when people are in certain physical conditions, they are looking for medicine. But just as well, they were not well to start with. So the journey begins with wellness so that, I think that's an easier topic, yeah? Now, how to talk about the business as well, right? How to do this, right? Here's the other question that people normally get. How to do this, and then people go like, people go, let's talk about business opportunity. No, you can talk about how you want 3 to impact. So if you like the product story, then talk about the technology, right? Don't just talk about the product. If you like the money part of 3 or the opportunity part of 3, well, don't talk about it as a business opportunity. Talk about how you want 3 to impact your life, right? So I put some words here that hopefully can help. Now, again, the picture on the right, I think you guys have heard the stories before, but you've never seen any of the pictures because we've never taken it out, we've never shared. And this on the right side, if you can see, is also an event on 2014. You can look at the dates. It's something like 500,000. And by the way, she dropped 500,000 in 3 different locations on that one day itself. And for the first time in my life, I understood what recurring income meant. I had really no clue until she dropped that amount of money in a day and then says, you know what, next month I'm going to earn that same and more. And so I can keep dropping this money every month. I can keep giving it away and I'm still going to be earning it the following month back, right? So, so when you talk about business, when you talk about business opportunity, don't talk about it as just an opportunity, talk about it as how you want your life. And this is most important. Sometimes, people come and lecture you, You do this business already, you can become rich, you can drive a Mercedes, you can this, you can that. Change your conversation, okay? Talk about how you want Three to impact your life. So it's like, I want to do this, I want to earn better, I want to drive a Mercedes, I want to give away money, I wanted this, I wanted that, right? So then people get the vision in your head, why you are doing it. So how to do this? Talk about how you want Three to impact your life. Now, I put a few words here for those who love the business plan side of things. And I'm just putting words that perhaps would help you stir some interest, e-commerce, for example, or social e-commerce, as the words are now. Leverage versus linear income, just being able to talk about it generally, right? Everybody earns linear income, right? But how many times do we actually get a chance to talk leverage income? And I've had these conversations these last 2 weeks. I get ears. So I'm telling you that through talking about how I want Three to impact my life, I'm getting ears, right? I'm getting ears. I'm getting ears means people are listening, right? Then, or I talk about time freedom, depends, yeah? Or recurring income, positive cash flow, savings, and things like that, right? So don't talk about it just like, oh, it's a business opportunity, you must do this because, there's an opportunity to make money. No, talk about it as what you're going to do with the money, right? So this, I think, is one of how to do this business. This is how you should, or you can have these conversations, right? So I think these 4 pieces are really important. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment's pause. Anybody has questions at this point in time? Anyone has questions? Come on, you guys. Anyone has questions? No? Yeah? Yeah? No? Okay. So I'm going to come to the next question. What skills do people need to do this business, right? What skills do you need to know to do this business? As you can see, the handbags on the table are pretty branded. It's really quite cool. This was the event in Indonesia in October that I went with Samson. As you can see, this was a very, very nice, very nice event, a beautiful event. And the women in Jakarta, in October, I mean, they have obviously branded handbags. Whenever you know whether who you are sitting with in a room, don't just look at the dressing, look at their handbags. So I've learned that with women, look at their handbags, right? So I realized, oh my goodness, this is a bit of a society here. So what skills do you need to have in this business? Only 3 things, right? What do you need to do? There's only 3 things. You need to know what your friends want in life. You need to know what they want. It's good to know what they want, right? So you can have this little conversation around family form, FORM. We always say, have you done form? Have you done form, right? Now, the difference between doing form and picking a stranger off the side of a bus stop and trying to take them to an event, that's what we're talking about. So it doesn't matter whether the person is a stranger or not, but have you done FORM? Do you know a little bit about their life, about their hopes, what they want to achieve this year, things like that, right? So just know what your friends want in life. Now, the second thing you need to do is when you know what they're looking for, especially in the short, medium term, like in the next 3 to 6 months or a year, 2 years, if there is a way for you to get what, would you be open? Okay. So this is the question you need to ask, because sometimes we know there's 2 conversations that I have. One, oh, I know my friend needs money. How do you know? Oh, she told me, they need 10,000 more by the end of this year to pay this, or, they told me. Now, another kind of scenario that I face is when I say, have you done FORM? Yeah, I talked to them already. So what does your friend want? I think they want this. I think they want that. I look at them. I think they should have this. They should have that. Okay, that's not called doing form. Okay, guys. That's not called doing form. That's just what you think. So you need to have those conversations. You need to get down to the table and say, look, what do you want in life? What are you looking? What's most important to you now? And, have that small conversation. It doesn't have to be long, but it does. You need to know what they're looking for in life, right? When you know what they're looking for in life, you can connect what they want with the possibilities that Three can offer, them, whether it be health, whether it be freedom. And remember, I've given you a list of words here, right? Life, lifestyle, community, purpose, vision, freedom, health, right? Whatever it is, you're able to connect what they want to what possibly Three can offer, okay? Where was I? I was here. Okay, so, and you must ask the question, if there is a way for you to get whatever it is they said that is important to them, would you be open, right? Would you be open? Right? You need to ask, because not everybody is looking for you to give them a solution. So you need to ask them, are you open? If there's something out there that might kind of solve your problem for you, would you be open? And if they say yes, you go like, oh, great. But what exactly are you, are you open to, right? You open to the, whatever it is that they are open to, right? Because sometimes people say, yeah, they're open. Just tell me lah, then I decide whether it is good or bad. So that's not called being open. Oh, ask me, tell me lah what it is. But if it involves me having to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm not open lah. Those kind of exclusions means they are not open. Okay, let's get this right. When someone's really looking for a solution and they are open to something different and new, they're willing to make a few small sacrifices. For example, watching a 40-minute video. For example, maybe, coming to Mid Valley or coming to the next event. For example, having reading a couple of brochures or whatever it is. When people are open, they're willing to make a couple of sacrifices, a little bit small ones, in order to find out something. So if somebody says, oh, I'm open, but tomorrow I'm not free lah, Wednesday also I'm not free, every day also I'm not free lah, no, then they're not open, right? So you need to handle that question well. So when they're really open, they're like, yeah, man, that sounds interesting. I am open, right? The next thing to do is to promote the next. There's only 3 things you need to do. Know what they're looking for, ask them if they're open, and then promote the next event. Whether the next event for you is a webinar that you're attending, a live event, or a P7 or a meeting. Now, I want to say this, right? The reason why a lot of times new BAs, or if you have new team members, you're finding that they're not actually able to invite anyone. I can tell you the core reason is because they themselves are not going for anything. Okay, so if you as a BA, you're not going for any of these next events, like a webinar or a live event or a training, I guarantee you can't bring anyone, because you want to bring someone to go only when they want to go, you want to go. But you don't even know, you've never been there. You've never been to these things. It's really hard for you to even talk about it. And a lot of times, I mean, like, look, guys, I mean, you see all the pictures that I can put up here. You know that I've attended everything. And then when you look at the repertoire of answers that I have, it's not because I just slept and got slept on my pillow last night and got smart this morning. They'll work that way, right? I did the work. I walked the walk. I talked the talk, right? So you need to also be able to do that. So the key reason, so if you're a sponsor and you already have a team and your teammate says, your new BA says, I can't bring anyone, the first question you need to ask, how many have you attended? I guarantee you, the ones who can't bring usually have never attended anything themselves. So this is where you need to then set the standards and put some frame into their understanding, because people think that, oh, if I don't attend, I can just go for something and somebody's going to come. No, okay, because you didn't plan to be there. But if you had already, like for example, if you plan to go for a J-Lo concert or a Taylor Swift concert, you plan to go. You already bought your ticket. Someone's going to come with you. Be like, oh my God, you're going. I was thinking of going, man. They want to go, right? If you plan to go, whatever, you find somehow somebody who wants to go. But if you never plan to go, and then you're just saying, hey, you want to go? Hey, you want to go? Nobody wants to go somehow, right? And then you'll be like, oh, nobody wants to go. But the point is, you never plan to go. So the last point here, promote the next event. Make sure you've got it on your calendar that you're going to be there. So if you have a team, okay, all of you guys who are now qualified BAs and all that, the one thing you want to look for is, are your team members actually attending, right? With or without people, you need to attend, right? And that is very, very key to doing the business. After a while, that just becomes a way of life, right? And again, just as a side note, people say, I got no time, I got this, I got to do this, I got to do. Yeah, I agree. Everybody is busy. There's a lot of meetings going on. So go get yourself some earpods, earplugs, whatever you want to call it. And while you're showering, or sorry, not showering, driving, or sitting in a bus, or having your breakfast, stick some earpods on and just listen, because a lot of it is just listening and refreshing your mind. Okay, so these 3 things, that's the only 3 things you need to do in this business. Now, when you're trying to promote something or anything, no selling, No, you don't need to do it. You don't need to sell and you don't need to convince. You just need to promote, right? So you're promoting, say, hey, you know what? The next event is going to, this guy is going to be so and so and what, you know, his skills, right? So you want to promote. You want to promote the person. You want to promote the event, the thousands of people at the event, or you want to promote like the learning that you get in each event that you attend, or maybe you want to promote like the community that you see. There's so many things you could promote, right? If you have been to one, then you can promote, right? So yeah, you don't need to sell or convince, just tell them what you saw. And that's usually very exciting, yeah? So, you know, how do we do this business? What skills do you need? At the bottom, I've listed a few. I hope it makes sense. Be a friend, be a business partner, be a reliable ally. Okay, this is really important. I've seen a lot of people come up, want to do a business, but then when you call them, they don't, you know, when you ask a question, they take like 3 weeks to get back to you, kind of thing. That's not reliable, right? Because nobody wants to sign up with somebody who's going to respond in 3-4 weeks, right? That's just not, doesn't work. So, and I think the last one is be a reason. If you can achieve the top ones, the bottom one is really important. Be a reason. Be a reason for others around you to want more or to do more or to have more, right? And I think, you know, when you look at some of the pictures, then you're like, oh, okay, maybe it might strike somewhere in you that you could be that person on stage. You could be that person in the travel. You could be that person on stage, right? You could be that person contributing and giving away checks. Be the reason that some of your friends believe that they can want more, do more, and have more. Okay, so I think these are some of the things to keep in mind. I know I'm going a little bit deep today, but I hope that this information is useful. So what skills do you need? Only 3 things, right? Basically, know what your friends want. Ask them if there's a way for them, would they be open? And the third thing is just promote, right? Promote the next event. So let me go to the next one. Tools and resources. There's a lot of stuff already. You know, when we first began knowing about the business, December 2022, December 23rd, 2022, to the time when the website was first launched in February 21st, 2023, since then, every single video, global video, showcase, training has been recorded. Interviews, those have been recorded and they have been put up in the YouTube Spark channel, right? And, you know, if you want tools and resources, it's all in there. There's the empowerment videos, there's showcase, everything is in there. So, you know, people need to make a little bit of effort. Secondly, log into your back office. There's a bunch of really good stuff in there. Wallet, you know, manufacturing certs, back office training, right? You know, there's a bunch of stuff available. So, you know, yeah, you know, I think people just need to make some effort in terms of getting or using the tools and resources, right? You know, we need to behave like as if we actually, this is important. We need to spend a bit of time doing those studies, okay, on our own, right? So at this point, I think the how-tos and the what-tos at the very beginning, I kind of have covered. I hope that that's useful. But then what do leaders do in this business, right? What do leaders, you know, those of you who just stepped up are QBAs, and then you realize you've got a baby team to deal with. And then, you know, the team, what do? Do you babysit them? Do you keep chasing them? Do you keep asking them to do this and that, right? So the leadership in these skills in this business, let me just kind of put it into 3 very compact points. Learn it right, do it right, and teach it right. These are the 3 main things that people should do. Now, when we say learn it right, learn it right, you've got to go out there and be doing the business. Okay, signing up is not enough. You've got to go grow your team, right? Two starts you on team commission, but doesn't, you know, you need to do more, right? And then when you learn how to invite, learn how to track your work, learn how to handle challenges, learn how to lead. I think that's a really big one, because a lot of times when people want to talk about leading, you know, there are some skills development that are needed. Yeah. So, but today I'm just going to leave it here because today is not a leadership topic. Learn it right, do it right, and then teach it right. So, you know, yeah, going from having no team to then suddenly having a team, you know, the better you get at this, the better your teams make money, and the better your own income and your own growth is, right? So yeah, I'm not covering too much of that. Now, I just want to cover a few very commonly asked questions, very commonly, whether you are starting new BA or even those of you who we are trying to encourage you to handle your own P7s, yeah, perfect sevens. Now, these are very commonly asked questions, and it happens, it should not happen before they have seen a showcase. Let me qualify this. All of these questions should not be handled before people have actually come to a webinar or a showcase. If they have never seen a webinar, a showcase, or a recording video of that nature, you need to bring them to one. After they have watched, then possibly these questions are worth having a conversation about, okay? So let me just qualify. If your people are starting to ask you about what product lah and debate with you about content of product before they have come to a full webinar, that means your conversation has gone down too deep, okay? And it's just gone in the wrong direction. I would say it's a very tough direction. So you don't want to have these questions appear at the beginning, okay? If it has, that means you've provided too much information or you've just gone too far. So these questions should normally come after a perfect seven at point of sign up or when people are actually wanting to enroll and they want to find out more. So questions that very commonly asked, why or what is SmartShip, right? Number two, why preferred customer versus partner with us kind of thing? There's the options. Is this an MLM or pyramid? Product price expensive, shipping fee, how to convince other people, you know, how to do the business, right? How is 3 different from other companies, right? So most of the time, when we are enrolling and when we're pretty new at this and we get questions like this, the first thing that happens is, you know, people get a little nervous and 2 things occur in their brain, fight or flight, right? So fight or flight, right? Or freeze, fight, flight, or freeze, right? 3 things. 1, fight, flight, or freeze. So fight, very rare, because when a person does the fight part, usually they're already very experienced. So it's usually flight or freeze. Only 2 things happen when people are relatively new. What I mean by that is either you go like, yeah lah, you cop out, and you go like, yeah, actually, I agree with you. The products are expensive. Or you go like, oh, yeah lah, I don't know. I can't do anything about it. But I also agree, shipping fee is actually not necessary, but have to pay. You know, kind of answers like that, right? So you kind of trying to tread that line in the middle and kind of give this kind of what you hope is a balancing answer. Is it MLM or pyramid? Yeah lah, actually it's an MLM lah, but you know, it's okay ma, you know, kind of answer, right? You know, things like that, right? So those range or those ways of answer, SmartShip, oh, if you want to do the business, you must SmartShip lah. Those kinds of answers, I think can be dangerous because you are trying to bypass the question. You're just trying to skim the question and hope that they're okay with whatever answer you've thrown at them, okay? So that's flight. And then, you know, there's freeze, right? Which is like, I don't know, right? That's freeze. So, but here's the thing. All of these questions can be answered from an I perspective. For example, when somebody says, what do I have to do SmartShip? For me, I will say, well, I do SmartShip because I want to retain, you know, the CVs and enable myself to do the business. So all of these questions you can answer with I. What is this preferred customer versus partner with us button? I want to be able to earn an income, so I chose partner with us button, for example, right? So a lot of it, is it MLM or pyramid? Well, I would never be involved in a pyramid scheme for sure. That's illegal, right? And as far as MLM goes, it's not my kind of cup of tea. This is e-commerce. I would never, you know how to do those things, right? But I can do e-commerce. So you can be answered from an I standpoint. So when you know what you got into the business for, then you answer from an I standpoint. It's a lot easier than trying to memorize what is the correct answer for any of these questions. Is the product expensive? I know that good things don't come cheap. It's a fair point, right? Oh, there's a shipping fee. Well, I know I get paid every week for my income, and shipping fee I only pay once when I order the products, because I know that, right? I know that because I do that, for example, yeah. So all of these questions, if you know your why, you know why you did something, then the answer to these questions are generally pretty straightforward. So I would encourage, for me, I would encourage that you answer the question, not try to answer the question from a technically correct or factually correct or a politically correct stance. Answer these questions from your own reasons of why you do it. Okay, it can never go wrong because it's your reason. I'm doing the Smartship because I want to do the business and I want to give myself a year to do it. And so, I'm doing Smartship for a whole year. I'm committed myself to that because I want to build a business and build an income in it. Nobody can fault you for your answer, right? And so on and so forth, right? So these are very common asked questions. The biggest mistake is when people try to be factually correct. So I've given you a way to handle this, which is just say the I thing, right? It's like why you chose it, why you do it, how you see the MLM pyramid and why you're involved in it and things like that, right? So I hope that this page is very useful to you guys. And I want to cover a few things that people need to know, but I feel that they don't. So I just want to cover this part, like rank advancement. People always say products are expensive and this and that, but you know what? If the company started giving you money to buy products, I really don't think products are expensive, yeah. So when you start building the business, anybody who has a website is a distributor. When you purchase 100 CV of product, which is really the intro pack, you are a brand ambassador. Now, being a brand ambassador is a very interesting level or rank. These are ranks, recognizable ranks, and there are certain attributes associated with each rank, okay? So being a brand ambassador means that you have already purchased 100 CV worth of product and you're able to therefore kind of go out there and do the business and receive the income, yeah? Now, when you are a qualified brand ambassador, you begin to earn team commissions, which is the cycles, $35, right? And then when you have one star just means you have kind of really just 2 people on your left, 2 on your right, approximately. There's some details to that, but approximately. The company starts giving you 100 reward certificates. It's like vouchers, right? So with 1 star, we're just having like pretty much 4 friends in the business, you get back $100 worth of rewards. Come on, guys. $100 by itself doesn't sound a lot, but if you knew that one Purify or one Revive is about $53 or $55, $100 gets you 2 bottles of these things. So is it cheap? Yeah. I mean, it's okay, right? You get 2 products just for having a couple of friends also join you to try some things, right? And then you go into 2-star, which is, about 5 people, which means additional 1 or additional 2 people. You get $200 rewards. That's additional 4 products, right? They give you something like 3 months or 4 months to use that voucher, right? So it's really cool. And then 3-star, you get 300. So each rank you're getting. So by the time you get to 3-star, actually you've collected $600, $600 worth of product. And that is equivalent to an entire premium pack. So, my friends tell me, you're so expensive. I say, well, yeah, just go and do some business, okay? And then they start giving you money to buy product. And they're like, oh, okay, So when you think about it, is it expensive? No, right? It isn't that, when you go out there and do some business, right? Now, for those of you who really love your friends, love your family, you want to do more for them. From a money standpoint and from a health standpoint, you want to share product with people. You want to have free product to share with people. I tell you what, go do the business, okay? Because this gives you money that you don't have to come out of your own pocket, but you can get free product for people. So this is fantastic, right? Then you go from 3-star to 3-star elite, and then you start getting tokens. And then from there, you actually get cash bonuses, okay? So this is the ranking scheme. A recent one has been added, but that's, between the 3-star and 3-star elite range. Now, here's another piece of document that I hope all of you guys have. If you don't have, then you should reach out for it. These are known as the ABCs. Commonly people will say, oh, health, hormone, this and that. So general guidelines, right? General guideline for a combination of products that helps with certain symptoms, yeah? These are not meant to medicate. These are meant just to help, yeah? So they have it in Mandarin as well. And pretty much that, right? Good. Any questions at this juncture? Anyone has questions? Anybody want to ask anything that I've said so far? Anyone?
Daffy.
Yeah.
Just now, hi, May here. Just now you mentioned something on the Smartship. What exactly is that?
Okay, great question. Okay, it's Smartship, This one, is it? This one. Where was it, Okay, Smartship. Okay, in this business, we can choose to be a one-time consumer buying wholesale prices as we go along, or we can choose to be a business partner, and we want to be able to earn an income every time, right? We want to accumulate our leverage income. So SmartShip basically just means, hey, you know, be a customer of the company with 60 CV every month. Okay. So SmartShip just means, hey, you know, you are a customer of the company and you're using their products every month. That's called SmartShip. So you can set it up as a pre-order, or that means every month they actually send you that amount of product, or which is about 60 CV is about 100 US, which is about 500 ringgit, give and take. So, or you can pre-purchase 3 months or 6 months in advance. And what that does, this is the part where I feel, okay, since people are asking. So what this does is it allows you to do two things. Number one, it allows you to do the business, to continue doing the business. But more importantly, in the background, when your team and as well as your spillover volume, whenever the volume, remember we talked about credit card points? Whenever we talk about credit card, okay, I'm just going to share this slide. Okay, guys, this one, I think I'm just going to talk about it. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm just going to share. Give me a moment here. Okay, Zoom. Okay. Okay. Now on this slide, this is team commissions, okay? Now, when people say SmartShip, you will then be able to earn all the various different income streams associated with the business of three. So for people who don't maintain their SmartShip, well, essentially just means they want to buy wholesale product for the rest of the year. But for those people who want to be a business partner and you want to continue earning two types of income, linear income and leverage income, well, be a customer of the company, you know, with some product every month. And that some product is basically 60 CV. 60 CV just means one box of Eternal with 30 CV points in it. Now, so linear income, we understand. Each time you sign somebody, you'd be able to make anything between $200 to $25 to $250 dollars, right? But when we talk about the other leverage income, by having SmartShip, you will be accumulating CVs from month to month to month. So in the beginning, it doesn't look like a lot. It looks like just so little CVs, you know, it's not a lot, right? But over time, right, some people are sitting on tens of thousands of CVs on one side, and some people are sitting on hundreds of thousands, and some people even millions of CVs on one side, right? Now, what is this CVs? This CVs is the credit card spending of your organization as well as your extended spillover organization. And these CVs, when it accumulates, it's kind of really, you know, these points lead to you having leverage income. So one side is done for you, right? And the reason why you maintain SmartShip is so that these points never get flushed. They get carried from month to month to month. So which basically means, you know, you think about travel points, right? Travel points, you know, airlines, every year or every 2 years, they flush. Credit card points, every year or every 2 years or whatever, those things that you don't cash out, you flush. But this time, if you could accumulate all of the spending of yourself and your organization in point system, it never flushes. Now, what does that mean to me? Today, if I max out 500 cycles a week and I still have balance points, I get to carry the difference to the following month. And so next month, when I do no work and I'm on a holiday vacation in Hawaii, it is still going to give me $35 cycles, and it's just going to keep running because the points can carry into the following month. So basically, I'm accumulating credit for leverage income, right? So it doesn't matter whether one leg or one side has got more points than the other. The most important thing is that it can actually carry through to the following week or months when I have already built up the other side to a better, you know, higher movement. Yeah. So I think this is, I know that was a lot, May, but that's what leverage income means. And the third thing, obviously, is the leadership matching. So the reason why people maintain SmartShip as well is because when their teams are making money, they get a check match. So if you don't, people who are doing the business, I always encourage them. People can choose not to, by the way, don't get me wrong. You can choose completely not to, but it is worth it simply because if you start building the business, you start getting check match, and having a smart ship on basically means you can match your team's checks, every cycle that they make, continuously. Yeah. So I think that's the leverage part of the income. Okay. So I hope that was okay.